Nobody expected this week to explode like this. Just days after the Bears' statement win over the Saints, trouble has already hit Haley's Hall, and some of it could change how this season plays out. Two important starters are hurt, the updates are not encouraging, and Ben Johnson didn't hold back when speaking about certain players after the game. There is a lot to unpack, and some of it might shock Bears fans. Ben Johnson described Tyrique Stevenson the same way, day-to-day or possibly week-to-week, and that uncertainty is a serious concern for this defense. Even missing him for one game against Baltimore could sting badly, especially if Lamar Jackson is back in action. Through 6 games this season, Stevenson has been one of the most dependable pieces on the field: 25 tackles, 6 pass breakups, an interception, a forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. He has been playing at a shutdown level since week 2, allowing the lowest passer rating in the league when targeted. With Jalen Johnson still out without a clear return date, losing Stevenson now would be a major blow. He hasn't just been solid on his own, his presence has changed how quarterbacks attack this defense. By locking down his side, he forces throws elsewhere, which has led to turnovers across the field. If the Bears have to sit him for a week to protect that shoulder, it might be the smart move. They've gotten steady play from Deshaun Wright when he's been called upon. Wright, once a practice squad name, now has 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery this year. His passer rating allowed is higher than Stevenson's, but overall he has held his own when asked to step into 25 tackles, 4 pass deflections, and 5 starts in 6 games. If Stevenson is out even briefly, Wright will once again be under the spotlight. Stay with me. Before we dive into the latest news, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss any Bears updates the moment they drop. Alright, let's move to the fresh news. The biggest headline from Haley's Hall is the injury update. Tight end Cole Kmet left the Saints game in the first half after grabbing his lower back. He never returned, and Ben Johnson confirmed Monday that Kmet is now listed as either day-to-day or week-to-week. We should get a clearer answer on Wednesday, but the tone from Johnson did not sound confident. Losing Kmet would be a major setback, even though his numbers this year haven't fully matched expectations. Through 6 games he has 19 targets, 9 receptions, 132 yards, and a touchdown, and his yards per catch mark actually leads all tight ends with the required snap count. When he catches the ball, he moves the chains. But he also struggled with drops against the Raiders, so his absence now would come at a frustrating time. For Bears fans who were hoping he could bounce back and make a statement against the Ravens this coming week, the medical report now decides that story. Stay with me. With Cole Kmet sidelined, a door has suddenly opened for rookie tight end Colston Loveland, the Bears' top pick in the 2025 draft out of Michigan. He finally saw more action against the Saints and finished with 3 catches, showing flashes of what made Chicago take him at number 10 overall. Through 5 appearances this season, after missing the Raiders game, Loveland has collected 13 targets and 8 receptions for 78 yards. He hasn't found the end zone yet, but he has been steady when given chances. Now, if he becomes the primary tight end this week, this could be his breakout moment. This is exactly the kind of situation that reveals whether a young player is just depth or the real deal. Ben Johnson may now have no choice but to involve Loveland more, especially with the Ravens up next. And with Kmet typically taking the bulk of TE1 reps, this shift creates a rare window to see what Loveland can do when the pressure is real. On the defensive side, there is another concern. Cornerback Tyrique Stevenson also left the Saints game with an injury, one that flew under the radar during the live broadcast. His situation is important because Stevenson has been playing at a different level since being called out after the Lions game. Ben Johnson confirmed we will learn more on Wednesday, but the mood around that update did not sound casual. Stay with me. Deshaun Wright is playing on a 1-year deal, so every snap matters for his future, whether it's with Chicago or somewhere else next season. He finished the Saints game despite taking a hard hit, and his status will be watched closely on the midweek injury report. Now, turning to the offensive side, Ben Johnson had pointed words for 2 players after the Saints win, Theo Benedet and Rome Odunze. Johnson spoke with respect, but he did not sugarcoat what he expects. The focus first was Theo Benedet and the pressure he is under at left tackle. Benedet has now started back-to-back games, and the staff is clearly evaluating him in real time. His performance against the Saints was shaky. Johnson described his play as inconsistent, a couple of false starts, some good moments in the run game, and problems in pass protection. Chase Young beat him more than once, including on the lone sack of the day for New Orleans. Johnson then said something that sends a loud message: everyone on the field must perform, and if someone isn't doing their job, the team will make a change, the same way Braxton Jones was benched earlier. That means Benedet is officially under pressure. Johnson didn't dismiss the idea of rotating, and names like Aussie Trapillo remain options. Benedet showed promise against Washington, then slipped against the Saints. Whether it was nerves or weather, the excuses won't matter now, because Baltimore is next, and the leash is not long. Stay with me, the truth is, Theo Benedet struggled in pass protection. Caleb Williams felt pressure all afternoon from the left edge, and that cannot continue if this offense wants to stay on pace. The Bears' line has been one of the bright spots of the year, so any weak link becomes impossible to ignore. If Benedet is going to keep that spot, he has to look more like the player we saw in preseason and in his limited reps against the Raiders: confident, clean, and reliable. If he doesn't, no one should be surprised if there is a change at left tackle. This is the kind of decision Ben Johnson and his staff won't hesitate to make with the Ravens up next. On the offensive weapons side, the more surprising comments from Johnson were directed at Rome Odunze, even though he's having the best season of his young career. 5 touchdowns in 6 games, more than 350 yards, and a dominant start to the year, yet Johnson still called him out. The criticism? Drops 3 of them before halftime against the Saints. Every one of those passes could have moved the chains, and possibly one of them could have broken open for another score. Johnson admitted that some throws from Caleb could have been placed better, but he still held Odunze accountable first. That tells you where the standards are right now. Production is not enough if execution slips at crucial moments. Those missed catches hurt momentum, gave the Saints life, and stalled drives that could have ended the game early. Odunze still finished with solid numbers, but the message from the head coach was unmistakable: the bar is higher now, and every mistake matters, especially when you're the offense's top weapon. Stay with me. Ben Johnson didn't only criticize, he also praised the team for something that has been missing in Chicago for years: maturity with a lead. He said the part he was most proud of wasn't just the fast start, but how the team handled the rough stretch in the middle. In Week 1, they lost control once things shifted. This time, they absorbed the momentum swing and answered back. That's a major difference. The old Bears collapsed the moment things got shaky. These Bears have now strung together comeback wins against the Raiders and Commanders, and they jumped out early against the Saints and finished the job. If that growth showed up in Week 1 against Minnesota the way Johnson said, this team could easily be sitting at 5-1 right now. This is what a good team looks like: learning how to close games, how to protect leads, and how to stay composed when things tighten. Johnson challenged his players publicly, but his final message made it clear: despite the mistakes, this locker room is moving in the right direction. Victory Monday still means something at Hallis Hall. And with Baltimore ahead, the real test is whether this new version of the Bears can keep evolving week after week. Stay with me.